No, I feel like my body is more, it's very sturdy. It's like muscular but stocky. Like when I look at my feet and my legs, they're very, they're very like stocky, but not fat, just broad and muscular. Maybe I am a man.
Do you have anything in your hands?
Not presently, but they are also very, they're powerful hands. There's veins on the top sides of them, and they're powerful, like big, not delicate. And short hair, brown. And dark eyes.
Is there anyone else here like you?
It seems like there's people off in the distance, but I can't quite make them out. But they seem to be in the same kind of clothing, and that we're part of the same type of group.
Tell me about the group.
Well, there's a woman and a child, and there's another person. I'm not sure who they are to the family.
And what does this group do?
They're there. We exist on the island. I feel like I provide for them. Like I do a lot of physical labor and providing food for my family. The other person is a woman. So it's my wife and child, and I feel like the other woman is the mother, her mother.
How old is the child?
Young, a toddler. Let's say not more than 2 or 3.
Is the toddler male or female?
A little boy.
Where would you go to have a meal?
I feel like it's fishing, and a shelter, a hut where we can have the meal.
And who would do the cooking?
My wife.
Take me to the hut. Is it far away?
It's only just beyond them, so they're outside in the front of the hut. They're standing there.
Describe the hut. What's it look like?
It's straw. It's round, straw roof. That's thatched, and it's the walls of the dwelling it's some kind of like mud, dried with straw and some other natural materials to make it solid walls, so it's darker inside. And it's just one room.
And how do we go inside?
There's an opening in the front. It's open because it's a warmer climate.
Is it warm all the time here?
It seems to be.
So when we go through the opening of the hut, what's the first thing we see when we look inside?
Well, over to the right, there's sleeping like pallets, and to the left is where the food would be prepared on a surface, and I'm not sure how it gets cooked. I'm not seeing like where a fire would be or anything that would open up to be able to make sure it's not smoky inside.
Mm-hmm.
It could be outside that we do that. Off to the left of the hut, where there's an outside, almost like it's a fire, like with a grate or something along that line, where it's like an open fire pit, but it's kind of contained, where fish can be cooked.
Mm-hmm.
And then also I get the sense that there's wild boar on the island too.
What is a typical day for you?
Always looking for food for my family to make their meals. Fishing, spear fishing, or hunting for boar, or maybe even porcupine. Just any kind of animal. My wife will look for roots and berries and seasonal fruits from that she can find around the island.
Tell me about hunting the boar. What is that like?
That's bow and arrow, and it's making sure that I'm hidden from sight until the time is right, because they're quite dangerous and they have their tusks and they could kill a man. So making sure I'm hiding behind the foliage is very quiet and taking my time to get the right moment.
Do you do this alone?
Yes. I feel like it's just us on the island. I don't have a sense for a larger community being here.
What's your favorite thing to do here?
Spend time with my wife and my baby boy, and rub her back and comfort her in the sun, and see him happy playing in the sand at our feet.
Alrighty. I want you to leave the scene you've been watching and move ahead to an important day. Move ahead to an important day and tell us what's happening on this important day.
I feel like we're having a celebration.
What are you wearing?
chest is bare, and I'm just wearing, it's almost like it's like a grass, like, skirt or something like that, with the fibers from plants just holding it together at the waist.
What are you celebrating?
We're celebrating something having to do with the growing season. That maybe the weather was particularly kind and we were able to get more berries, or that things were growing, and it was amounting to more plentiful food or resources for us.
So describe your surroundings. Are you inside or outside with this celebration?
It's outside. And we just have like woven baskets filled with a good gathering of those things, and we're feeling really pleased, like we can possibly store some of that and have more and not have to worry about hunting and finding things as much.
And who is here with you?
It's my family. My son, he's very affectionate. He always likes to hug us.
How old is your son here?
He's 4.
Is he talking?
Yes. But he doesn't talk all that much. He's more quiet. He likes to run and play and come back and hug and kiss us.
Mm-hmm.
But we can understand each other. But I don't feel like we're talking English.
Okay. What does it sound like?
It sounds like more short sounds and not anything that I've heard before that I would recognize.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you're very good at?
I'm very good with the bow and arrow. I have very good true aim. And I'm very patient, and I'm very in tune with the land and the sounds and the weather and the temperature even, and I can tell how that affects the animals and the surroundings, and I'm very intuitive. I can almost sense when there's going to be weather changes. I'm very good at taking care of my family. I feel very confident, and I feel very, very assured in my abilities. I feel like I've been doing this, and it's second nature to me for a long time.
Did someone teach you how to be this intuitive?
My father, he would take me through the steps of what to look for and what to be aware of from the time I was a young boy. So it's something I don't even think about. I just know what to do.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. I want you to leave the scene you've been watching and move ahead to another important day. Move ahead to another important day and tell us what's happening on this important day.
There's a ship in the distance, and it's coming close to the island, and it's nothing we've seen before or understand. Because we're close to the sea, and we don't go out on the sea, and we don't float on the sea like this ship is doing. I know it's a ship. It looks almost like a ship from like colonial times, like older. A lot of sails and masts. It's just there in the distance, and I'm getting this sense of foreboding about it because I don't understand it or what it's doing there or what it wants. And I'm feeling very protective of my family. I sense that intuitively I sense there's a threat there, and I don't understand it, and I don't like it. I don't like that it's just idling there in the open waters in the distance, but enough so I can see it just lurking there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel equipped with what I have to protect my family because it's just us. And I know this is something that's beyond what I've ever had to deal with before.
Hmm. What are you wearing here?
Bare-chested again, and I have the grass skirt.
Okay. Time is going to move forward. And as time moves forward, tell us what's happening. Does the ship come closer?
It does.
Mm-hmm. And then what's happening? Now remember, you are only an observer. Nothing can harm you, mentally or physically in any way. You are only an observer, and you can talk about it now.
I've told my family to go hide in the I want to say it's a jungle. Because they're coming closer, and they're wearing, it almost seems like they're wearing colonial garb, like they'd be on a ship as ship mates, the captain, all the way down to the buckles on their shoes and the stockings. And I can see them approaching, like I can see that their clothing is very different. And I'm angry that they're approaching our peaceful island. And I intuitively know they're not friendly. They're They're there to disrupt our peaceful, beautiful life. But I'm not sure how, but I know they're not there for good. And I'm only one person.
And as time moves forward, what's happening now?
Well, they've seen me and I've seen them because I'm out in the open on the beach. I feel that I shouldn't hide with my family because I need to know what's going on. I need to understand them in order to best protect my family. I feel like this is the only way.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I hide with my family, then I won't be able to see, and then they'll already be on the beach, and then we're just running scared, and it's not giving me an advantage. And maybe if I meet them there, I can show them there's nothing here for them and protect my family, and they'll go away. But they come and they put feet on the beach, and there are a lot of them, and they're talking in a language I don't understand. And it's just me, and I don't have my weapons. I don't have my bow and arrow. I don't have my spear. Because I don't want to make myself a presence of being combative.
Mm-hmm.
And incite them. I want to come peacefully. But I'm very tense, and my hands are fists at my side, and I'm furious that they're here. I'm feeling protective of my family, but inadequate to stop them. There's so many of them. And they have muskets. And it's like they're surrounding me, but they're also flanking the beach on all sides. There's so many of them.
And then what's happening?
They're advancing like I'm of no consequence to them. And they're looking around and they're surveying everything. Like as if they own this land and are not part of it. And I just feel helpless. I don't know how to get them to go away.
Are they all men, or are there some women in their group?
No, they're all men. It's the captain and his shipmates.
Mm-hmm.
And they're armed. All of them. With either daggers or muskets or both. And they have those coats that are all buttoned up and proper attire.
What color are their coats?
I'm seeing that they're black with white shirts underneath, big kind of ruffly parts of cotton shirts just poking out. And their pants are like kind of, skin tight to the knee, and then they're wearing the white stockings and the black buckle shoes.
Mm-hmm. And then what are they doing?
They're pushing me out of the way. There's just too many of them. And I'm seeing them just with their hands on their hips and talking to each other, and with this air of smug ownership. Like this island is theirs and they already own it, and they've only been there for a short time, but they assume that this is theirs. And they're not even looking my way or trying to have a conversation or understand each other. There's no need for them to pay any attention to me or acknowledge me. They know they have the upper hand, and they're there to claim it, to own it. And I'm thinking about my family, and I'm worried because I know at some point they're going to keep advancing and they're going to comb over the entire island, and the island is not that big. And they'll find them, and I don't know what they're going to do when they find my family.
And as time moves forward, what happens next?
They're here to stay, they're more comfortably positioned, and they've enslaved me and my family.
In what way? What do you mean?
They push us around with threat of their weapons and make us do things for them, like we're their servants. Whatever they want. We're not treated as human, we're treated as subhuman. In a way, I'm grateful for one thing, that they see us that way, that we're lower than them, because they're not bothering my wife, they're not trying to. They just see her as a slave. So at least she's spared.
Do you share meals with them?
We eat on our own, and it's whatever scraps that they don't have any interest in.
Are you still able to hunt?
They don't want to give me any weapons. They figured out for themselves. Because they have the muskets, they just shoot the boar. It's harder for them with the fishing because that's more skill with the spear. But they have nets, they figured it out on their own, in their way. I'm old and I'm dying, and my mother-in-law has passed a while back, and I feel very sad and angry for the life that she had, that was cut short on her, that she had to be enslaved at the elder part of her years. She was kind and good to me. My wife is there, she's older and her hair is graying, it's not as black as it was, and I can see the toll that this has taken on her, and the light in her eyes has dimmed. She's a shell of her former self, and my boy is older now. You know, when I say I'm not sure how old he is, but he's a young man. And I want to say he's 16, but it doesn't seem quite right. But he's a young man, and I'm looking at him.
Now remember, whatever has already happened, and you are on the other side of it. From that position, you can look back at the entire lifetime and see it from another perspective. Every life has a lesson, a purpose. As you look back at that lifetime, what did you learn from it? What was the purpose of that lifetime?
It was to appreciate the moments of joy and satisfaction in the small things, in being with my family and loving them and them loving me, and appreciating the beauty of nature, and that we were provided for on a daily basis, and we never had to it's an appreciation for being in the present and all the beauty around me physically, with all of the beautiful island nature and the connections that I had with my family and the love that we had for each other, and how fleeting that can be, how we were so free and then we were all enslaved. And not to take those free days for granted.